studying mathematics, but also studying how to be a better teacher. I chose that one. So, for the emptieth time, I am not a professor of mathematics, but I am a professor of mathematics education. And that made it possible for me to come back home and go to as many schools as possible and to say, I'm going to make sure that your teachers can do better to teach mathematics. And every jump I have had has been to make sure that more people can teach people to teach mathematics better. It was not easy coming to Nigeria and starting off a program where most people thought you were a bit crazy. And anyway, she's a mathematician, you know, like Chikobi. And they would always do that sort of thing. And if she chose that, she was a bit peculiar. Yes, I was a bit peculiar. But many, many more men and many, many more girls decided to learn mathematics. And believe me, if you can learn mathematics and go on with it, you learn the principles. You know why things happen. You don't just learn something and cram it, which is what many of us did up to the school certificate level. Is that not true? Even for your generation, you're still cramming. And that was because after carrying out an experiment for almost 16 years, the federal government just stopped it. It's a single sentence: modern mathematics is no longer to be taught in the schools. No more modern mathematics. We had too much of this. This woman has gone around making our teachers believe that 1 plus 12 is 12. 1 plus 12 is not 12. 1 plus 12 is not equal to 1. 1 plus 6 is not 7. 1 plus 6 is what? 1. We start again. Anyway, I hope I have made that clear. I am a professor of mathematics education. Secondly, I'm very interested in what the girl child does. And again, I had to make a difficult decision. I came back to this country. I could get on very well if I did not have an added problem of the girl child. But I had that added problem, which became a very sweet problem. And for 12 years, I could go to schools, write books, and make sure that they could understand the principles in mathematics that would help them to do more work in education, to do more work in education and not think that mathematics was one way of driving them out of schools. Because by 1963, most of the people were still cramming mathematics. We were doing our mathematics okay at the top. We were showing how many more things, how many more new things we could bring into knowledge. But we were not bringing more people to have a knowledge of things and to do those things correctly. But that's where we still are. Forgive me. We don't do things, we don't carry on, we don't make decisions when we should make decisions, because those decisions would land us into trouble. Those decisions mean you should carry out certain things which are unpleasant. But if you didn't take that path and you didn't follow through carefully, you would be happier and you would get more things done. And that is what we are talking about now, in a way. Ladies and gentlemen, what stops the Nigerian army? What stops the Nigerian police? What stops all those people who are in one type of uniform or another bringing back our girls? How could we sit down comfortably taking more and more money for whatever jobs we do if we allowed those girls to sit out there? And by the way, what happened? That some people came into one country, Nigeria. Some of them were Nigerians, some of them were not. And they did a very simple thing. They just brought buses. They went to a school in the middle of the night. They drove our girls out of the school into the lorries and buses, and they moved them on to the next state. That's very simple to do. You can do it anytime. You can take your girls from your school and take them to another school. But this time, they came with a vengeance for Nigeria. They just picked almost 300 of our girls and walked away. And this is the third year completed. We can't bring them back. Isn't this a shame on us? Everybody talks about great Nigeria, how wonderful we are as a country. Why have we not been able to bring the Chibok girls back? Is it because we haven't done the correct thing? We had partners from Europe, America, come to detail out how we could get on to ensure that we could cite our girls, that we could go into the country where they are, and slowly and steadily, with careful thinking and careful planning, collect all those people who were disturbing our country, who were making our country very, very bad, just like somebody is making a lot of noise at the back for no reason. For no reason we can listen to that instead of listening to us talk. And even though sections of Nigeria Army are sent to Central Europe, please listen, shut the door, thank you. Even though we can go to Central Africa, many of our troops have gone there, to other parts of West Africa, and we are all seen as very, very good soldiers, having good soldiers who can work out things. We cannot go out and please bring back these poor girls and clean the heart of poor mothers. Clean their hearts. Make them sleep happily. For 3 years, we can't do it. When I think about it, I can't understand. Our troops were not given correct arms. I'm told we had arms that were less powerful than arms that the strangers who came to our country had. Part one. Part two, we have an army where the directors and those who give orders at the background, I prefer to teach primary 1 than to teach primary 6 because the harm is done by then. We can sit back in our country, in Abuja here, and send less powerful ones, people who don't have enough power in the strategic way the army set out. And then these people do not carry out the thinking necessary, and